Hellebuyck, we talked about 8.5, which, by the way, Connor Hellebuyck night last night for the Winnipeg Jets. That mask, that vintage mask with the old Gary Cheevers, or I should say Ken Dryden, the vintage setup, 500 games played. He was coming in with a 854 to start the season.
I can't believe they didn't sign Comrie. I'd start Comrie for that game.
You start Comrie for Connor Hellebuyck night?
Absolutely.
Troll the fans?
Let him wave to everyone. Hi, everybody. Here I am. Let him walk around the stands and whatnot. Give Comrie the game against the San Jose Sharks. They're going to win maybe 15 games this year if they're lucky. Maybe. And that's being generous.
Yeah, both goalies, they were not doing too well last night. 8 goals. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Winnipeg Jets playing the Sharks.
Holy moly. 4 goals in the first period.
Oof, Blackwood wasn't looking good.
But again, listen, I'm not going to say the Jets are world beaters yet. They beat a bad hockey team, as they should, and they beat them handily, as they should. Let's see as we get into the weeds of the season. I mean, the first 10 games are basically practice anyways. We know that. That's when guys are playing out their PTOs and they're trying to decide what your final roster is going to be. I'm glad to see Perfetti put in a couple on Friday night. Again, I'm a little biased because, I'm here in Winnipeg. But no, it was great to see.
I would say, though, if there is one goalie that I want to be that I'm genuinely jealous of, it's Connor Hellebuyck. He's got great style. He's a world-class goaltender. The fans in Winnipeg are so crazy. Obviously, Winnipeg is my home. I'm born and raised here. You're not born and raised here, but
This is my home. Yeah.
You're an honorary Winnipegger. Man, I'm jealous of the guy. I would love to get him on the show and talk to him. I mean, he just wants to talk about fishing these days, but that'd be a cool interview.
Which is a bit of a red flag because that's how we ended up losing Bufflin. So, just...
he fishes with Buff in the offseason.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. Look, I think that he has accepted the fact that he is going to be a starting goaltender in a small market. He's going to make his money, and what I like about him is that he's really embraced the Manitoba culture. And a lot of guys, from what I understand, talking to a few of my sources on the team, a lot of guys have really bought into the Manitoba culture. Like, hey, you get to go ice fishing. You can't do that in LA. You get to go skidooing. You can't do that in Nashville. You get to do a lot of really cool stuff. And if you really dig in, this place is a ton of fun.
Ilya Brizgalov is listening somewhere, smashing his steering wheel. It's the freezing cold. There's nothing to do.
Is your roommate Moose?
Who is your first classmate?
A bear? No, listen, Briz, and look, he grew up in north. He knows what cold is, and he gets it. I'm getting to the age where I'm thinking, like, boy, that snowbird lifestyle of getting out of the cold in the wintertime really seems appealing.
Well, I'm born and raised here, and in the last couple of years living in the west coast of Sweden and Vancouver, I've gotten soft. I come back here, and I was telling Dave before we started recording, every time I fly in Winnipeg, I want to love it, and I want to convince myself I miss Winnipeg. I want to move back here because living in a one bedroom for $2,000 a month in Winnipeg versus $3,500 in Vancouver, great deal. And I come back and I think, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't convince myself, honestly, this is a good idea.
Well, look, you have to embrace it. It's the only way you're going to survive winters here. And I always say, buy yourself a good pair of boots, invest in a good pair of mitts and toque and all the things that you need to do because you got to get outside. You can't hibernate for 3 months at a time. You just can't.
In the words of Sid the Sloth, I choose life.
Yeah. Hey, every Sunday, a new podcast goes up, but if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, there's clips everywhere and just segmented stuff on your favorite players. Go subscribe to Slang in the Biscuit podcast and Slang in the Biscuit clips and Slang in the Biscuit shorts and Slang in the Biscuit pants and Slang in the Biscuit hats and Slang in the Biscuit shirts.